Shalom, welcome to 6 by 6 Part 2. There you learn 6 days a week for 6 minutes and you got a full idea from the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And just give a very fast review what we were saying. The bad spies went into Israel and they got scared because there were giants there. There is what to get scared about. They would have very strong beat up any normal people. But of course that the Jewish people had Hashem on their side, and therefore that they shouldn't be afraid. Actually, give away a little bit of the story. We know the story, though. The spy, they were told to stay in the desert 40 years, and some Jews said, no, we messed up royally. We're going to go nonetheless. And Moshe says, wait a minute here. Now, if you're going to go, you're going to get beat up badly because you're only going to win if Hashem is on your side. So what do we see? And the truth is, the end of the story is they did go into Israel, they didn't listen to Moshe, and they were beaten up and killed. So we do see they were tough. It wasn't just a crazy thing or scared of a mouse or something like that. A mouse can't do anything to you. There really was to be scared. They really were tough people in the Canaanite nation. But on the other hand, if you have Hashem on your side, you don't have to be scared. And one of the things we said is that we're like bread to them. And what does that mean, to be like bread? Well, they could have said anything, chop liver, whatever, gefilte fish. But they said bread. Why bread? Well, bread is a necessity of life. You need bread. You say a prisoner is bread and water. Or again, even in Torah law and halacha, that when you say a major benching, major grace after meals, only if you have bread. You had a lot of vegetables and salads, and maybe you're full. Of course, you make an after bracha, but you don't make that full grace after meals as you would with a few slices of bread. So bread is the stay of life, and therefore that's why we bench. And that's why they said we're going to be like bread, because we don't worry about that. The two good spies, and we told you that was Yoshua and Kalev, that will just take them like a little bit like sliced bread. And again, you say that in English, but that's a little bit what they were saying is they're going to be nothing to us, and don't worry at all about these the people in Eretz Israel. One of the things where I always tell this beautiful idea from Dr. Abraham Twersky, may he rest in peace, who's a great, not only was he a psychiatrist, but he was a great Torah scholar also. One of the things that the bad spies came in, that we were like spiders to them, like nothing, again, like maybe you would say in English, like ants. We were like grasshoppers, and so too, we were in their eyes. So the question really on the Chumash, because Rashi answers his way, I'll tell you the way Rabbi Twersky deals with it, but he says, well, how do you know what they were saying? How do you know the attitude of somebody else? And they said, well, we were hiding in the trees, and we heard the giants talking to each other. Look at these little human beings over there. They look like little grasshoppers. So that's how they knew that they were grasshoppers in their own eyes. Dr. Twersky, who is a doctor of psychiatry, he said this is a beautiful idea from us. Is because that when a person looks at someone else and they have a bad attitude in themselves, oh, I'm no good and I'm ugly, a girl could say, and the whole class hates me. How do the whole class hate you? How do you know? You took a poll, you went around to everybody. But that's the idea. If you feel like you're a grasshopper, then you just feel like, oh, everybody thinks I'm a grasshopper, I'm a nothing also. So to a lot of kids say that everybody hates me, no one likes me. Well, you didn't take a poll, everybody doesn't like you. It's ridiculous. But the way you have such a low self-image, therefore you impose that upon everybody else, and therefore thinking, oh yeah, and everybody I must know that they don't like me either. So that's a side idea, but it's a beautiful idea. I always like telling about Dr. Twersky. He's really great. He wrote many books and Sforim, and I always like reading him, and this is apropos for this so too. So the idea that bread is essential. I mean, we got to go to Israel. The spies said, let's go back and let's just stay in the desert. hey, we had it good. It's really, in a way, a utopian situation that they were in a desert. All right, it's not the nicest thing, but on the other hand, they were protected from clouds of glory. You didn't have to have an army. You didn't have to have a police force. Yeah, what about bread? What about eating? Yeah, it came out, but there was a manna from heaven on your doorstep. So this is beautiful, and you're learning Torah the whole day. No one was working. Like I say, in a certain sense, it was utopian situation. And the Rebbe always brings out that there's a little bit of trouble. If the Almighty meant us to stay in the Garden of Eden, well, he would have had us stay in the Garden of Eden. Why did he even bring us in this physical world? Not to run away from it, but to change it and to make, in the Hebrew it's called dir b'tonim, a dwelling place for the lower worlds, and bring in turn the mitzvahs into this world. All right, so we'll continue the idea. That was part 2, and we'll continue with part 3 next time.